closing up cycles has been the biggest game. I've closed a whole bunch of them this month. And just a lot of ancestral and familial stuff kind of flying and like, ooh, we're getting that closed off. And I can see that energy flying around the collective too. So, hello, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you? What is that? Stop it.
My cup.
I love it.
And then a
That's so,
monster cup.
you're so fun. I'm like the boring mom. I've got like my water in an actual water glass.
I was like, is that wine? Oh my God. When are
Not
we
yet.
gonna meet up and
We
have some good wine time?
That would be so fun. Yeah, we should definitely have cocktails on these types of conversations.
Should be cocktail hour.
Yes, and we should make everyone drink with us.
Sounds like a great time. I'm in.
And it's interesting because I don't even really drink that much anymore, but I am willing to have a cocktail because it means, yay, I get to be social with my friends and I enjoy that.
I would be
So
willing to do it. I usually don't. The vibration is not okay, but also for my body, but also I can alchemize it so we could have like a good time on there. So I'd be in.
I think what we're saying is we just really want to have fun, whether there's alcohol involved or not, but it seems like that's the socially acceptable thing to say. So we're just going to be polite and say it when neither one of us really drink that much. All
Speaking
good.
of socially and politically correct things to say, how do you feel about that nowadays?
About being politically correct or about
Yeah,
what?
with your verbiage, your words, like
Well,
how
I got to tell you, so nothing really pushes boundaries like when you get a negative response to something that you truly believe in. And then all of a sudden you start questioning yourself. So it's not like you think you're going into it being politically incorrect, but it just sort of like that's the fart in church response that you end up getting. And you're like, oh, did I do that? Oh, I'm so sorry.
oh my God.
Right. And I think that was with the events from last week.
Yep.
Um, and with Charlie, and it's interesting to see people's responses where Normieville really, really, really is very focused in a particular area. And then my personal thoughts, and I don't want to speak for you, but my personal thoughts were slightly different.
Oh yeah, yeah. So different perspectives we're looking at.
Yeah.
We've had some world stuff come up the last little while, huh? Some
Yes. What kind of things are on your radar? What do you look at?
I mean, with the shooting and stuff and some of the other stuff that was coming about, I kept a very open perspective on it because I don't like to have a directed dive in. I like to like step back and see how I feel about the space, what it's feeling like for me, and my system and body that just does not like to be in a directed justification place or go into frequencies or like energies that really make me feel sick. So I just stood outside of it, listened to people, and it's like that's very interesting. And from a broader perspective, I was like, so what are we moving here, Earth?
So it's so funny that you say that because I did the cards right before this chat
Ooh,
with you. I know, because I haven't really been putting much out there, any like a lot of card content, but I've been doing a ton of it at home. And I'm like, I should really be recording this. But basically, what it said is there's a lot of endings that are taking place right now, and that we're really feeling it in our body. We're seeing it in current events.
yep,
We're like surrounded by it completely with energy. And one thing that comes to mind to complete the endings is 999, September
yep,
9th of
that's
this
it.
year.
Yep.
And so, I really found that I'm resonating very strongly with a lot of endings right now. And then in the current position, it was saying that there were things kind of going on, things that we don't see, things to kind of help rise our vibration. And
Right.
so I take that as some of the things that are kind of maybe going on in the world. It's really triggering to people, but ultimately we don't change in times of comfort. We change, we grow and we evolve in times of conflict, adversity, polarity, seeing a different perspective to get us to move through our comfort zone.
Totally.
It,
I
you
don't
want to
know
say
if
more
I'm
about
agreeing with
that?
you. I was just gonna say sometimes we just need to get smacked around a little bit.
Right? I think we talked about that last time. We're like, yeah.
Going in it.
um, Yeah, and so then what it talked about in the future position was the tower card, and it was all focused around the tower card, which is
Mhm,
changes.
mhm,
And I
mhm.
happen to love the tower card because it means evolution. It means clearing out the debris and bringing in something fresh, new perspective, letting go of the old so new can come in. But it can also be upheaval, it can be changes, it can be
Sure.
destruction, it could be all sorts of things. It just depends on how it's being aspected. But it was basically talking about, letting go of the old because there's a lot of changes that are still coming in, whether it's, from my own perspective, public disclosure on things, if we're ready for that vibrationally. And maybe that's why some of these current events are coming in to help move us vibrationally in that area, or if it's to help us with an ascension. So, and maybe all the above.
Yeah, maybe it's everything. I would have to say that this has been a huge month for closures for me. In my personal reality, closing up cycles has been the biggest game. I've closed a whole bunch of them this month. And just a lot of ancestral and familial stuff kind of flying and like, ooh, we're getting that closed off. And I can see that energy flying around the collective too. So I
Yeah.
feel like there's just a big pump of debris and gunk that's come to the surface that we get to take a look at from a different lens and say, hey, this is a closing chapter for me. I really don't want to play into it anymore.
Yeah, because I mean, we can't move on to the new if we're bringing our old stuff from the past. And you and I both did this earlier in the year, right? Of like moves and relocations and things we had to let go of in order to
Oh,
move powerfully into this next phase of our world. And I think a lot of people are probably feeling it. And for those that aren't getting the release or having the clearing, maybe they're feeling it as tension in their bodies and they don't really know why.
totally. Yep,
Maybe that's the universe saying you have to release this stuff. And you're like, I don't want to let go.
totally. Bit of a resistance. Yeah,
Yeah. And it
yep.
creates anxiety and tension and upset. And God, I see it so much at work. In my corporate 9 to 5 job, people are like just emotions are very heightened right now.
Oh, yeah, very much so. And I would have to say, because I've been out to the river every single day, so I have this body of water behind me. I've been like,
Lovely.
no, I've heard it every single day this month. Go to the river every single day. I've done my intention. I've danced in the water. I've painted with river water, but mostly I've sat with it to see what was in completion for me. And all of the years gunk, I would have to say, and for cycles and for lifetimes and ancestry came to a head around 9/9. And it's still closing off now. And honestly, I wasn't super focused on it. I was like, I know this is going to come to a closing, but all the energy was like, this is heading into a closing, whether that be with a roommate, whether that be with groups, whether that be with online people that I know, like a big door shut.
Wow.
And it was a lot. And also, too, I was excited about it because it allowed me to take up space.
Yeah, because those were the things and people and structures and environments that were no longer going to be needed for this next phase of where you're heading.
Yep. Yep. And it's exciting. It feels like a whole lot
Nice.
chaos and a emotional turbulence right at the moment. And if just for you guys, if you are feeling anxiety or you're unsure about what's moving its way through, or the world stuff is popping up in your face, there is some new alien stuff for surfacing too. Like we're all getting into a space where we can observe it, we can feel it, and also like again say goodbye to it because we don't have to put as much energy into it as we used to because we're not in those vibes anymore.
So not put as much energy into the alien thing or put
Well,
as
just
much energy into,
into, like, world events that have happened. The
oh,
alien stuff,
right.
you can put energy into that if you want to. I was
Yeah.
like, "I can see you guys
That's
are
why I wanted to
listening."
clarify. I was like, which way are you going?
Thank you.
Because, yeah, because I feel like if we're to move into this 5D ascension kind of time frame, and we have like these gifts of like telepathy and the ability to interface with others, like we've got to really stand in that neutral kind of observation position as opposed to getting all like heightened and crazy town.
Yep,
Because if we're going to be like interfacing with each other or interfacing with aliens or whatever, and we're feeling their emotions and getting crazy, it's going to spin us out of our own evolution and our own cycles.
totally. And I would have to say the biggest thing that I've seen consistently with my clients and myself and working with the water is it's really old shame and guilt patterns. And
Mm,
that's gonna
yeah.
bring up guilt, shame, and shame, I'd say, is like the biggest killer of growth. It keeps you stuck, it keeps you from taking action, it keeps you perpetuating certain cycles that you don't want anymore. So I've seen these intricacies pull apart where I'm like, ooh, that was a little shame piece that I did not know that I had, right? But the facets of that is like the 3D that's really shifting out of the parameter.
I'd love to learn more about the water because you were talking about water codes the last time you and I spoke.
Yes.
And now that you're going down to the river, you're probably doing more with that. I'd love to hear more about it.
Yeah, honestly, I've been working with water really consistently the last 2 months since the 8-8.
Oh,
It's been
it's the Lion's Gate.
and the 9-9, we're making it back in. Uh,
And by the way, nine in German means no.
it does indeed. Um, I would have to say with the water, the month before 8-8, I had many different visions with water, and it came in really consistently to tell me about the certain repatterning that it's working with. Had sovereignty codes running through it, obviously abundance code. I mean, water is in everything that we do. It's most of our body, right?
Hmm.
So, I went out and started to work with it for the 8-8 just to see what it had in offering. And on the 8-8, I channeled in several different codes that were like new universal codes that would have to do with opening up the space and clearing out shit. A lot of
Mm.
shit. A
Hmm.
lot of programming, a lot of dead stuff.
Hmm.
It created really big waves, and so I was really grateful for that 8-8. And then moving into this 9-9, it's heading into if you would just acknowledge the water and understanding that it is something that is a partnership. You're creating a relationship. You're not taking from water, okay?
Hmm.
It's already inside of you. It's a big platform for consciousness. Water is that's what we move in, right? Then it's going to really bless your system, and the clearings are really fast. Okay. As long as you have that intention and relationship with water, it's moving through all things very quickly.
Yeah, and when you mentioned that was creating waves earlier, especially, during the 8-8, I'm almost thinking back to when were all those tsunamis and, all the big water
Right.
warnings and, things that were happening off of was it the earthquake in Russia that was, having all that water, moving towards the west coast of the US. And so really interesting. I wonder if, there was any correlation to that when you were working with the codes.
Yeah, I would say so. I saw it in every facet. I saw all the aspects the earth was working with it. And I'm
Yeah.
just in perspective. I've just spent my time meditating and working with water every single day to see what it has to offer. And really, it's a great teacher right now. So I do encourage everybody to sit with water or go out to a river water and have a little communication with it, to do a little letting go, see what the water has to offer you, and allow whatever else is in your body that needs to be shifted out, go.
Do you want to do maybe like a little meditation of how like we could listen to that and just like a release?
Sure, I'd be happy to. I just got this river water yesterday.
I love that. And do you know that's so good because over the weekend we went into a national park and there was some water that sort of comes out of this spigot, on the side of the road, and everyone goes with their containers, and we got some as well. So I love that. This is from the tap though.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna put just a little bit on myself for a second.
Oh, I'll do the same.
A little bit, yeah, just a little bit of blessing. I'll leave this open. All right. I'm gonna have everybody just sit in their bodies for a second and take a really big deep breath. I want to ask that water is not acknowledged within your system, within your body, all of your cells, organs, fluid, spinal fluid, just giving it a full representation as it takes up most of our body. Now, as you're getting a feel for the internal water that's working your system, I'm going to just ask for one thing to come up into your awareness that you would like to let go of. No right or wrong here, just staying very present and no judgment. You might be able to feel it in your body, something heavy or dense. It might be a thought form, a color, or a picture. I'm gonna ask you to take another very deep breath. That breath is what ignites the water in your system and also allows that flame to work with the water in your body. And move it down all the way to your feet. Now I'm just going to ask that you fill into or visualize or talk to a moving body of water. Could be one that you know, one that you've seen in pictures, movies. Just get to know it. I'm going to have you ask that body of water what it would like from you as a partnership to work with it. Again, this could be anything. It could be just love, could be a saying, a word, even a color in connection with the water. Understanding that it is a partner, an ally, something that's here to help support you. And allow yourself to dance with the water for a moment, whether your feet are in it, whether you're floating down this river. Just give it a moment to support you. And if it feels a little turbulent or scary, that's okay too. That can be there as well. I'm going to ask that one thing that you brought to the surface just to come up again in awareness. The water as a partner knows how to work with you in the release. And we're asking that it get released with ease and support of your journey and alignment and what you'd like to bring into your reality. And just allowing the water to shift it in a way that works best for you. That might mean that it asks you to have a glass of water in front of you that you bless and you drink it to help flush it out, or that you go to an actual river, give it an offering. Just be aware of how it wants to work with you to release this. And I'm going to ask the water codes, the sovereign codes, the abundant codes, and the shifting into this ascension process or stepping into more of yourself, more of your light, more of your wholeness, to just move through your body freely, easily. And just knowing that the water is always there to support, and you can always create a deeper relationship with it by talking to it, communicating with it, loving on it, expressing with it. Taking another moment to take a deep breath. And coming back into the center space, into the space where we were before this beautiful meditation, and allowing you to feel your body. To become present, to move around a bit. And just coming into presence when you're ready. Woo!
That was really beautiful.
Yeah, it was. How you feeling?
Very peaceful, actually. That was part of what I was asking for was more peace in my life.
Ah, yep.
And and I do feel very calm.
Beautiful. Yeah, the water really is helping with that process now. It's helped me stay with a lot of calm too. Every time I go to visit it, it gives me just a lot of sense of peace and knowing that I can trust and surrender
Mhm.
to that flow. And that's really what she's bringing in too is a lot of flow.
Yeah. And I think that's if we I don't know if surrender into it is the right word, but allowing for that flow to just sort of kind of take us along with where the water is going, as opposed to swimming upstream or trying to corral it or try to control it in any way, to just allow it to move through us and to acknowledge it.
Oh, totally. I would have to say, like, the biggest lessons coming in for this month and the 9-9 with the water would be to surrender to that release. Uh, I've definitely found myself trying to control a few times, and I'm like, "Ooh, look at that! Time to stop. I've got to stop. There is nothing in this that I can control, except to surrender to what that process is going to look like, and to take aligned action when I feel like that's appropriate."
Mhm. Yeah. I think that's a beautiful message for today is about surrender and allowing the completion to move through us and to have water help us in that process and that action.
Absolutely.
Um, whether it's going to a gorgeous river that you've been able to go to out in nature, or if it's taking a bubble bath or something at home, just wherever you've got that connection.
Yeah, and again, it doesn't matter. It could just be tap water. However you want to work with water, give it some time with that. I've definitely found and seen that 9-9 this month is the completion, but also give yourself the rest and time that you need as you're moving through these phases to complete them. No need to like really pull in so much or push or hustle to see what might be next because it'll come in beautifully once you have the rest and the shifting out of things that no longer needed.
And I think to also allow our bodies to rest if it's asking for rest right
Yes.
now,
Yep.
because we're
Definitely.
going through a lot with the release. The release is probably more on our bodies than we probably give it credit for.
Oh, totally. Totally. It's definitely been a lot of rest for me. So,
Oh yeah.
oh yeah, yeah. I'm like bubble bathing it twice a day, man.
You've got such a good life.
I'm like, I gotta get back in, because it's helping my body really fuse in, more of myself, my wholeness, all facets of myself, multidimensionally, my abundance, knowing that I don't have to worry about it. And so if I go back into just a little bit of my nervous system going, oh my gosh, like, how am I gonna work this? What are we gonna do? Like, I get in water and I don't have to worry about that, literally. Like I have it covered, and I know that I have it covered. It's just these
Mhm.
old platforms that we've been used to, and collective consciousness being in chaos about things, So give yourself some time, some rest, and know that things are going to unfold really beautifully as they should.
'Cause things will be starting up again soon. Once there's an ending, there's always a new beginning right around the corner.
There is. It's going to be a good one. I can feel it.
Yeah? Good. I'm looking forward to some really positive new beginnings for everybody.
Yeah, so am I. And everybody, just want to let you know how much I appreciate you and everything that you've done and everything you've done as a collective too. Thank you for watching and being present because just, you being here, you've done enough work to really be present with yourself and allow the shift to move through too. So I'm rooting for everybody.
Yes, yes. Well, that's a beautiful way to wrap up this conversation. So, well, thank you so much for an absolutely inspiring conversation. And thank you for that meditation. It was really beautiful.
Absolutely. And thank you. You're amazing.
Oh, you as
Sure.
well.